I am at the Measured Summit. I am now speaking with Doug Powell, the Distinguished Designer at IBM Design. Good evening, Doug. How are you doing tonight?
It's great to be with you. Thanks, Denver.
IBM embarked on a complete redesign of its company back in 2013, which is an incredibly ambitious program. You're one of those lead designers. Tell us what inspired it and what are you doing?
Well, it's really about connecting with the people who use IBM technology. And really understanding who they are, what their needs are, and finding ways to design and develop tools and technology that really meet those needs in a very human way. The users of our technology traditionally, historically, have been deeply technical people, engineers and developers. And what we've found in the last decade or so is that our users are, more and more of our users are less and less technical. Mm-hmm. So think about nurses and teachers and data scientists and small business owners. That requires us to think about the tools we're building in a different way. Designers happen to have the skills to really address problems, with a user and human focus. So that's really what inspired the design-driven reinvention of IBM. As you said, about 4 or 5 years ago, the program was launched.
Yeah, and I guess the users today, they want something delightful and Absolutely. Intuitive and fun and mobile.
Yeah, it has to be available to them anytime, anywhere, in their pocket, in their purse, in their backpack. The tolerance for a bad user experience has evaporated, whether it's in personal technology or in the technology we use for our work, which is IBM's focus, of course. That line between work and life is completely blurred at this point. The bar for a great user experience is incredibly high right now, and we need to be reaching that bar and even setting that bar in the experiences we're building.
And at IBM, Doug, you had about 100 or 200 designers for about a 350,000, 400,000 person organization. That has expanded dramatically.
Right. We've hired now more than 1,200 designers, formally trained designers into IBM. We now have more than 1,500 in the company, making IBM the largest employer of designers in the world, which is kind of a surprising little piece of trivia for many people. But it's exciting. It's really cool.
Tell us a little bit about the impact that design has had in the business world. Can you give us an example or two of that?
Well, I mean, you go back 10 years now, actually, almost exactly 10 years to the release of iPhone in early or the introduction of iPhone in early 27, and that was a pivot point. That was really the moment that everything as we look back on this era is going to be before iPhone and after iPhone, and it really demonstrated that design and user experience is a business driver, and it is increasingly the single way that businesses can distinguish themselves. Everything else has been commoditized. You can't find an edge anymore in supply chain or manufacturing or materials or even advertising, media. It really comes down to the kind of experience, the quality of the experience that you can deliver.
What has the impact of design been in the social sector, and particularly perhaps in healthcare and in education?
Yeah, I think healthcare is a place where it's quite frankly, just as we all know, a pretty lousy user experience. We all are required at different points in our life to engage with the healthcare system, and I don't know anybody who really looks forward to that experience. So that means that there is an opportunity. That's an opportunity space for designers to make a difference, and we're just seeing so much cool stuff. We're going to see at the Measured Summit just some great examples of designers making a difference in healthcare. From the patient experience level of doctors and caregivers interacting with patients in a different way, up to the systems level. And at IBM, that's where we play, at the systems level. And we've got our Watson Health business is just doing incredible work in making sense of the just unthinkable amounts of medical data that is out there, and packaging that data in a way that is consumable for clinicians who are making diagnoses, so that they can have access to far more relevant data than they ever have before.
I think it was Thomas Watson who said, good design is good business.
Indeed, indeed. In fact, that's interesting that you point that out, because we just discovered a memo that Watson Jr. had written to his executive leadership, and it was dated December 20th, 1966, which means that a few weeks back we celebrated the 50th anniversary of Good Design is Good Business. And so that's pretty cool. It's cool to, as a designer in the year 2017, to be able to reach back a half century into a great heritage of design, and really be inspired by that.
Well, what you're doing is pretty cool as well. Thanks very much, Doug Powell, distinguished designer at IBM, for being on the Business of Giving this evening.
It's my